What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger. And eventually, it'll be a country like no other. It'll be the most dominant country economically in the world.
Is there pain in the market at some point? You're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think I don't want anything to go down. But sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
Asian markets were rocked on Monday morning as fears of a full-blown trade war between the United States and China escalated sharply. The turmoil followed US President Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs announced last week, a move that sent shockwaves through Wall Street and is now echoing across global markets. Tokyo's Nikkei 225 plunged nearly 8% shortly after opening. In Australia, the S&P ASX 200 dropped more than 6%, while South Korea's Kospi index fell by 4.4%. The sharp downturns reflected rising investor anxiety after last week's brutal sell-off in US markets and mounting tensions between the world's two largest economies. Wall Street closed out its worst week since the early COVID-19 crisis. The S&P 500 sank 6% on Friday, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 2,231 points or 5.5%. The Nasdaq Composite wasn't spared either, falling 5.82%. According to CNN, this marked the first time the Dow has ended in correction territory, which is more than 10% below its recent high since March 2022. Trump's new tariff plan, unveiled last Wednesday, included 34% levy on Chinese imports, set to take effect soon. In response, China's Ministry of Commerce announced that it would impose reciprocal 34% tariffs on all US goods starting the 10th of April. The tit-for-tat exchange has triggered fears of a prolonged and painful trade conflict with potential fallout for economies and markets around the globe. US futures markets, which hint at how markets will open, were also flashing red. Futures for the S&P 500 dropped 4.2% and the Dow shed 3.5% and the Nasdaq slid 5.3%, signaling another rocky day ahead on Wall Street. Energy markets also took a hit. US benchmark crude oil prices dropped $2.50 to $59.49 a barrel, which is a 4% decline. Brent crude, which is the international standard, lost $2.25 to fall to $63.33. Friday's tumble marked the lowest oil prices since 2021, raising fresh concerns about global demand in the face of economic uncertainty. The broader sell-off wasn't just about tariffs. Even a stronger than expected US jobs report on Friday, which is typically a sign of economic health, failed to lift investor spirits. The market's reaction made one thing clear: the fear of a trade war and its ripple effects outweigh any current signs of strength in the American economy. Meanwhile, markets across Asia and beyond are bracing for more volatility. The combination of aggressive US trade policy, China's retaliation, and jittery investor sentiment is proven to be a potent and dangerous mix. For more details on how the market is behaving in response to Trump's reciprocal tariffs, stay tuned to the official YouTube channel of the Indian Express.